did you get with Kid and Play once they exercised the option for the album, or what was the chronology of it? Because I knew Last Night, then I know Do This My Way, then I knew Getting Funky. So
okay, the chronology was this: Kid and Play did not have a DJ at first. They were just Kid and Play. They did Last Night. The scratches that you hear on there were done by Quicksilver. Quicksilver and Hurby Luv had a really tight relationship. They, they went to school together. Everybody went to St. Gabriel's school here in East Elmhurst, Queens, and I would say that Herbie has the mind. Herbie is the prototype of Puffy and all of these other producers that knew how to market and package their groups. Herbie is the originator of that. Herbie is the blueprint to everybody that came after him. I actually heard Jermaine Dupri say it one time on a radio interview. I was driving somewhere in Philly, and I heard him on the radio. Somebody was interviewing him, and he heard Jermaine gave it up to Herbie. He's the first one I heard actually give it up for Herbie. He said, I wanted to be like him. Like, he just knew how to put the whole package together. And I was like, yo, that's really big of him to do that, but it's the truth. Herbie had Kid and Play, and he knew they needed a DJ, and he actually told them, y'all need to use Wiz. And that's how it happened pretty much. My first big show with them was at the Apollo. It was for a show called the Urban Teen Music Awards, and it was a bunch of heavyweights in there. Dougie, Kool Moe Dee, a bunch of big time hip hoppers, and whoever was popular in the R&B world. So that was my first big performance with them. I remember Clark Kent was there, a bunch of people, a bunch of dancers that later became influencers. So from that point on, the rest is history. I would go to all shows, do shows with them, and we did our first tour out in England for, how many songs do we have? We had Last Night, we had Do This My Way, and I think we had Gettin' Funky at the time too. Yes. So we did like a promo tour in the whole country of England, the entire whole country. We were in a van, and I think we had like 16 or 17 dates, something like that. We were somewhere in between there. I'd say between 12 and 17 dates, but we were in a van and just did the whole country. And we weren't signed to Select over there. Select was not over there. We were licensed to Chrysalis Cool Tempo Records over there.
That's interesting that because Chrysalis has interesting stuff too. They had Gangster,
Mm-hmm.
and they also had D.O.C. Love, I think, was there.
Yeah, listen.
So on the licensing side, because he was not on there domestically. I'm speaking.
Right.
Anyway, well, that's interesting. So what?
Herbie, like I said, Herbie just paired me with him. Even though I was, grew up with those guys and we all had multiple different crews or whatever, Herbie was the one that saw it. Yeah.
Well, I just remember because Getting Funky, I knew came out before the album, but I also remember they shouted you out. Kid shouted you out in the rhyme in there. So
No, he didn't even shout me. He shouted out Quicksilver.
Wait, on Getting Funky?
He didn't shout me. He shouted out Quick. If you look at the Gettin' Funky video, there's two.
I'm talking about my bad. You're on the turntables in the video. That's what it is.
Yes. So in the Gettin' Funky song and the video, you'll see in the video that there's two DJs on the street. One here, one there. Quick is on the left, I'm on the right. And Kid actually goes to him. He said, "We got Quick on the horns just wailing around. And if you're feeling down, you better cure that." So Quicksilver produced with Herbie Gettin' Funky.
Okay.
Yeah, Quicksilver was a major contributor to the Two Hype album. And he was a major contributor to Herbie, period. And this is where Herbie's talent shined. Herbie, again, him just being the master of packaging everything from the look of the group to the presentation, him and Play handled that. But as far as from the music aspect, Herbie had the ear to organize things. Quick would produce songs and submit them, but Herbie would come clean everything up and basically refine what it should be, because it might be a little too wild and too busy for public consumption until Herbie comes and tames it down, so to speak. I remember specifically even the rhymes of Gettin' Funky. I remember Kid shared his rhymes that he wrote for Gettin' Funky, and Herbie made him totally change the style. Herbie told him, "Nah, you can't say it like that," because Kid had this kind of like laid back flow to it. He was like, "The ingredients for coming correct, beats and rhymes, both in check," like real smooth. But then Herbie was like, "Nah, man, you can't say it like that." He said, "Like, you got to get busy, man." He's like, "The ingredients for coming correct, we select beats and rhymes that are both in check." Like, you just make it funky, So that's where Herbie would come and just really put a vision to make things dope, period. So so Gettin' Funky, Herbie mixed it down. Quick put all the tracks together, and Herbie said, "Take this out, that, and boom." Wow. It's like he put it in the shake and bake. Okay, this is what you're gonna put out.
Speaking of the packaging, the video for Gettin' Funky is one of my favorite videos, probably of the era for sure, and maybe of all time, because in addition to the dancing, I really liked the fact that it was like a night thing. It wasn't even though it was a block party, it was at night, and then it had the women dancing. It just had so many elements, and it just seemed naturally fun as opposed to like forced fun. Right. So what, being that you're in the video, obviously, what do you remember that maybe was distinctive, or the energy or the vibe that maybe was different, and it was early in the progression of things too?
Right. It was 88, and
the best year ever.
Yeah, it was still so brand new. And again, we're not hearing rap 24 hours a day. We had our section of hours on the radio where we might get a little bit of play. But the biggest thing is music videos were new too. So just the fact that you said you were doing a video, oh my God, just that alone was super exciting. That was our second video. We did do This My Way. Gettin' Funky was the follow-up. So it just got from great to greater, and it just kept building. But that video particularly was extra dope because it was filmed in Harlem, and the street looked like a movie set. It was just so immaculate and just so perfect. You look at it now, it does not look like a real street. It's like, this is incredible. And the energy, again, from all of those dancers. And those were all some of the best dance crews in New York. We had the IOU dancers there. We had this group Nonstop, the three girls. Then there was another crew of girls. I forgot their name. But then we had the crew from the neighborhood, Footsteps, which Herbie's brother Steve was a part of, him and his crew. They got busy. Like, you see, there's a part with Kid and Play in the middle, and you see it like they're surrounded by a bunch of male dancers. That's all Footsteps. It was, oh man, it was just energy that you've never seen on camera until that point. You know, you never saw a whole bunch of hip hop dancers like that. It was unseen before. So
Yeah, that's,
just seeing that being shot was exciting. You know, the whole night, incredible.
I can imagine, man. It definitely comes through watching the video. So as a little kid, when I was watching it, man, I wish I could have been there for that. and then and then that even has the kind of the hinting of the comedic aspect with Play getting dissed by Sweet Tea and the water coming on
yes.
and everything.
Shout out to Sweet Tea. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Idol makers.
But where I made my mistake and I misspoke was the Rolling with Kid and Play is where a kid says you rock the scratch. I was getting my lyrics.
Wiz rock the scratch and Herb's on percussion. Yes.
But so that's where I was trying to understand, because on the 12 inches and the different things, I didn't think you were involved. And then that's where I was like, well, wait a minute. He has to have been down with them at some point of all this, because they're mentioning him on the album, which clearly was recorded before.
Rollin' with Kid and Play was the first single where they actually put my picture
on the back
with theirs on the
as the Wizard.
Yes, as the Wizard. So I'm on the front with them, and you talk about the comedic aspect of the group. Again, that's Herbie. You know, Herbie said, "This is who y'all are. This is what we're gonna sell. You guys are cool. You're funky. You can dance. You're funny. Just everything that people wanted back then. You know, there was no real gangster rap movement back then. Everything was kind of fun and just free flowing. You know, there was a lot of different areas of hip hop that spawned out of that time period. You know, you have Rakim, who's just straight lyrical, dropping science and clever lyrically. Then you have your Kid and Plays and your Will Smiths and your Danes, like, who are telling stories, but still fresh, still look cool, and still make funky music, you know? And I think that latter was always the most popular back then, at least for a good while of time back then, you know? So on the back of that 12-inch was Kid, Play, myself, and Herbie with his dog. I remember that. Yeah, so
a 4-man band.
Yeah, a 4-man band, exactly. That was mentioned, you know, in Getting Funky. Yeah, man, it was just a great time because, like I said, everything was so new.
And with the Rolling with Kid and Play, that's another one of the many that Herbie had the go-go element to it. So
that was well. This is the thing. That was the first. That was the first. That was the birth of it. Rolling with Kid and Play was before Shake Your Thing, or right after. Am I getting that wrong?
Well, wait, because
I might be getting that wrong. I think Shake Your Thing came out before. So Shake Your Thing came out before that. Rolling with Kid and Play was like the go-go follow-up, because Shake Your Thing kind of introduced Kid and Play. If you remember, they were in that video.
Remember, my mic sounds nice and all that before, though.
Right. But I'm saying, like, visually, on visual.
Visually, yes.
Yeah. But I actually think I'm wrong about that. I think Shake Your Thing was first. Yeah. See, and again, with the packaging and Herbie's mastermind marketing before anybody knew what the hell he was doing. Even in that Salt and Pepper Shake Your Thing video, he had all his artists. You know, he had Dane and Kid and Play playing detectives along with himself. Like, all 4 of them are in the video for Shake Your Thing. And that was a fun video shoot too. I was there at that video shoot. I'm in there for about 3 seconds. You could see me as like a reporter or something while Sugar Bear is singing.
Shout out to EU. Yes.
Yes, EU, Sugar Bear, what's up? What's up? Yeah, but so that was kind of like the real introduction of this Idol Makers family on a visual level. Because we were in the video and all of them were in the video, you know. Ron Lawrence is in that video too. He's like, we all just made our little cameos, you know. It was very, very cool. Yeah.
Right. Well, that was a great time, and that video also with the gymnastics and all that stuff had the one with Kid and Play video that showed the humor that we were going to be seeing too.